Welcome back to the Sloan Sells Homes Open House. I am Michelle Sloan. I'm your local residential realtor and broker at RE/MAX Time. Today, it's all about color. This is part 2. Part 1, we talked about color inside your home, what's hot, what's not. I always say the neutral colors are going to give you the best bang for the buck. What colors change their personalities when it comes to lighting? And it's interesting because when we look at natural light is our sun, and the direction of the light that's coming into your home is going to play a factor in what your paint color looks like. That's why when you're choosing a paint color, you probably want to take a little swatch, get a little quart can or a little sample can, which they have now in a lot of the big box stores and in your paint stores. You can get a little can and take a brush and go ahead and put it on different walls of the home. The same color on different walls, and they will show up differently. It's amazing. It's surprising. It's something that I've learned years ago. And when I go and choose paint colors, I may pick 3 different colors that I think I want and get the little sample cans, grab a paintbrush, and go ahead and go to 3 or 4 different walls that you want to paint. You do the one color, give yourself like a foot or so at least, so you can kind of see what it looks like in the light, and then mark at the top in pencil what that color is. So if you're using agreeable gray and accessible beige, if those are your 2 colors, and then you add a 3rd color, maybe something a little bit lighter and whiter and brighter, put those on the walls next to each other, and then mark what they are, and then do the same thing, the same order on different walls. If you have a lot of natural light in your home, north-facing light tends to be cooler, all right, and can make colors appear more muted, all right? That makes sense. South-facing light is a little bit warmer. South-facing could be towards the end of the day where you have that warmer light coming in. That can enhance the color of your paint and increase the vibrancy of it. So again, it's just going to be subtle. If once you paint the entire room, it's going to appear like different walls are completely different colors. Crazy how that works. And if in your own home, if you've never noticed, and you have the same color throughout, go ahead and take a look at it. In the morning, look at your colors. Take a really good look at it. And then in the evening, same thing. Before it gets dark outside, take a look at those colors. And it does really make a difference. Again, the time of day makes a difference. We know this. The morning light, again, is usually cooler. Afternoon light is going to be a little bit warmer. Okay. Of course, in the Cincinnati area, when we talk about light, if it's winter and we don't see the sun, everything's going to be a little duller, a little grayer. So make sure if you live in Cincinnati, and you probably do, you want to make sure that the color is got a little bit of a hue in it that's going to make that color a little brighter. If you go to a store like a Sherwin-Williams or a place where there's someone who knows color, or if you're looking at the swatches, you go into the paint stores, or you even go into the big box stores and you grab a couple of paint colors, I really do recommend spending that little bit of extra money on those little sample cans so you can see. The other thing that light and paint just have this symbiosis, right? I think that's the right word for it, where they work together, is artificial light. So the light bulbs that we use, the color of the light bulbs, did you know that your light bulbs, they emit all kinds of different color? The LEDs can be very bright, or they could be a warm tone. So you want to make sure that the color temperature that you are using within the light sources in your home are something that is appealing to you. When we sell our home, we want as much bright, natural light as possible. So even in the color of the bulbs that we buy, you can buy a natural light, a natural white light. and that will really make your home look brighter, feel cleaner. Those are all very, very important. The room size and shape, the shape and size of your room. Tiny rooms, you want to stay lighter on the color of the rooms if you have a small bedroom. But we want to make sure that those smaller rooms with less natural light, you want to make sure that you are painting a lighter color, because the darker color is going to close that room in and it's going to make it look even smaller than it is. Surrounding colors. What colors are your furniture? What colors are your flooring? Again, you have to look at that. You want a little bit of contrast. So if you love a blue palette, maybe your couches are blue, your chairs are blue, you love blue, everything's blue. So that's fine. So take a piece, maybe take a pillow that you have and take it to the paint store and say, okay, I'm trying to find a color that's going to work with this on the walls of my home, because I'm not going to change out my furniture, but I want to change my walls. And so you may look for, a gray may look beautiful with the blue, depending on the hue of the blue. The hue of the blue. Surrounding colors, you're looking at your flooring, maybe you have carpet. Again, if you have something that's a little bit more neutral in the carpet, you might be able to get a little bit more bold with your color. But again, if you're selling your home, neutral is always best. Finish of the paint, and this is something that I always get confused about, so I always have to ask. But if you are taking notes today, and we're talking about different colors inside of our home, paint colors on the Sloan Sells Homes open house, the finish of the paint, the sheen level, how shiny the paint is. So there's different kinds of paint sheens, and when they finish, when they dry, they're going to be either matte, eggshell, or satin. And I think there's like a semi-satin or something like that. I think I might have made that up. But anyway, it definitely affects how the light reflects off of the paint. And we talked about light and the impact of the color. The glossier the finish, it may be a little bit lighter. But the finish also will help you determine which room you want to put it in, because if it's in the kitchen and you want to be able to wipe your walls and not tear up the paint, you want to make sure that the finish is one, and it's right on the can, and I'm sure that the people in the store can help you. If it's in a bathroom or a really high traffic area and you need to be able to wipe it off, you need a certain type of finish. I believe you want it to be more of an satin. and you hear I'm a little bit hesitant because, again, I always get this mixed up. So make sure that when you're picking the same kind of sheen. Now, if you're going to be doing it on the entire first floor, yeah, a satin is fine, or an eggshell is fine. You probably don't want to do a matte, because matte is more of a dull finish, and that matte is more difficult to clean. I can tell you that. Okay, so testing samples in the light, making sure that once you know which one that you're painting, and this is important when you're going to sell your house, the people who are the most organized are the most helpful to me as your real estate agent. And when we're looking at paint colors, if you know which color you've painted the entire first floor, what type of sheen, it will match the best if you know exactly what color that you've painted it. You can't keep paint outside, I can tell you that. Do not leave your paint that you're using in the garage, because if it freezes and thaws, it's no good. You're not going to be able to use it again. It's going to definitely affect the ability for it to paint. Now, I've had some paint in certain rooms. Actually, I have a paint in my office that was painted years ago, and it was a really high quality paint, and every once in a while I do a little bit of touch up, and that touch-up blends in so well. I'm always so impressed. So buying a little more expensive paint may go a long way, because you can use it over and over again as you need to do touch-ups. Maybe you hang a picture and then you don't want that there anymore, or you're planning to sell your home. You have a lot of photos on the wall. Maybe you have a lot of wall hangings on your wall, and you have dozens and dozens of holes in your wall from the nails and stuff. Again, the best thing that you can do when it comes time to sell your home is to patch and paint. Take all of that personal artwork off the walls, all of the pictures of your family members. I've seen entire walls, hallways filled with photos of the family throughout the years. And it's cool, it looks great, but it's not something that you want to highlight when you are selling your home. Remember, when you're selling your home, less is more. That's important. Less is more when you're selling your home. So you're going to take away all of those personal photographs, all of those pictures. If you have some funky artwork that you kind of have your own style, maybe it's very modern, or maybe it's, not everyone's style, then you probably will have to take those photos and those pictures down, patch and paint the walls, make it look like new. If you cannot patch and paint because you have too many holes, you may have to do an entire wall. And that's going to be the key. Again, remember, if you're using the same color throughout, if you're doing just one wall, it'll blend with the other ones. And so that's going to work out really, really nicely. I can help you with all of your color selections for the most part. I'm only going to recommend the neutrals, though. So, if you have a different kind of vibe, we can talk about it, but I'm most likely going to recommend the neutrals. My name's Michelle Sloan, and you're listening to the Sloan Sells Homes Open House right here on 55 KRC, the talk station.